morning, guys. Sunday morning. John here. Have my coffee, and I'm going to have a shave this morning. It's a little cool in South Florida. It's like 45, 50 degrees. So I know you guys that are hunkered down in those states where the wet shavers are, where it's freezing cold and foots and foots of snow, you know. I'm not trying to, I feel bad for you guys, I really do. But let's do a shave. In today's shave, I'm going to be using PAA Miami Libre, which is a custom soap that was made for the South Florida Wet Shavers Group by Douglas Smythe for our first annual Wet Shavers meetup. And I'm going to be matching it up with the matching aftershave. And I'm going to be using my Dovo's Best 6/8 round tip. That's what I'm going to be shaving with today. It's a very nice razor. I picked this up at Lynn Abrams' store. Straight Razor Designs. And today's brush is my absolutely beautiful, I love this brush. Anthony MacKenzie made this brush for me. It's an AMAC brush with a Miami Nights 24mm 2-band silver tip. And this particular brush, because it's Miami themed, is Miami Nights not. So that's what we're going to be using today. Real quick, I want to just talk real quick. There's been a lot on the internet lately and the forums about blooming, soap blooming. I bloom all of my soaps. If it's a hard soap, I bloom it with the hot water directly on top of the soap puck. If it's a soft, really soft soap or even a cream, I will bloom that in my sink and put a weight on top of my closed container so that my soap heats up. There's a misconception out there, guys, about what actually blooming is. And I've been reading a lot, and blooming your soap has nothing to do with really making it soft so that you could use your brush better with it or anything like that. It deals directly with the aromatics in the essential oils, and unless you bloom your soap, you really don't know what the soap truly smells like, what the scent really is. And I believe that Douglas has made quite a few videos. I'm sure there's other guys that have made videos too that explain this. If you don't get that from my video, please watch somebody else's videos and look up blooming shaving soap so that you understand what it really is before you start putting your words down on paper or, messaging people. But it's all about the aromatics, meaning that when I bloom my soap, I'm putting hot water, I'm heating the essential oils that are in the soap so that I bring out the most aromatics from that essential oil. And that's the reason I do that. I don't do it because I need to soften the puck up. I already have beautiful brushes that do all the work for me. Okay? This is why I do that. One of the things that you get out of blooming your soap, if you wet bloom, is you get to use that bloom water to put on your face, and it helps like progress the shave by a pre-shave. It's almost like using a pre-shave oil. So I am gonna dump out some of my bloom water, and I like to use that. I'll put that on my cheeks, and I don't know if you could see, but it's soap. It's the bloom water from the soap. So you can absolutely start to see that it's soaping up on my cheeks. So by doing this, I'm lifting the hairs. I'm putting the soap underneath the hairs so that when I do use my brush, I have a really, really good start for my shave. You want to get the closest shave you possibly can. And the bloom water helps in that sense. I mean, it's just like adding, hot water to your cheeks, I guess. But It just adds a little extra oomph to it. But that's the purpose of blooming, the sole purpose of blooming. So I have my puck here. I'm going to load my brush. And like I've said before in my videos, as far as pucks go, super hard puck, I use a more backbone brush. I'm not going to use a floppy brush to try to pull out a hard puck soap. I'll use something with a lot of backbone, a boar even, or horsehair, or like this particular Miami Nights knot has got a huge amount of backbone. So Douglas's soaps at PAA, you don't really have to do much to them. They speak for themselves, I should say. Okay, so I got a beautiful load on my brush, and I'm just gonna clean off the edge because I like to utilize all that little extra soap that I had pulled off of the puck. And then I'm gonna put my puck aside. Wash my hand off just a tiny bit, guys. I got rid of that other towel. Now I'm in purple. Matches my bathroom a little better. Okay. So now I'm going to build that lather. And again, when I'm loading my brush, I like to load a little on the dry side so that I can always add water, because it's way easier to add water than it is to have to go back to the puck to add more from the puck. I mean, it's half a dozen of one or the other, but this is just the way I like to do it. And look at his, well, first of all, you don't have to say much about his soaps because they're slick, they have amazing cushion, and so now let's talk about Miami Libre. So his soap is mint mojito and Cuban cigar, and it comes out big time when you bloom it, even more so. But you know, most people that aren't from Miami or live in South Florida, they're like, well, you know, Cuban cigar, what's the difference? Well, that Cuban cigar is a little sweeter than say something from Venezuela or one of the other countries that make cigars. This is a little sweeter to me, but the mojito, oh my God, he nailed that. And if you've never had one, go to your local bar and order a mojito. And the mint comes out really, really nicely in the mojito. So you get that tone of the mint also. It's very, very good. It really is. All right. So now I'm gonna finally, get to my shave. So I took the Dovo's Best. I built a slurry on my finishing stone, and then I did about 25 laps on my stone, 25 on the cloth, and 50 I used 50 laps to finish up on my leather. And that's mainly because I've used this razor probably 8 times, so it was time for a little touch-up. Very nice. You know, another thing to talk about while we're discussing blooming and stuff is keep in mind I've used, this might be my first, it is, I think, my first video review of this soap. But I've shaved with it over a dozen times, at least a dozen times. So when I tell you that how the scent is, or how strong it is, or how the soap performs, I'm telling you this because I've used it a lot of times. You know, you really, if you're going to do a review, you need to use the soap. You need to like shave for a week or two and use it constantly so that you really see how it performs. Try it dry, bloomed. Try it wet, bloomed. Shave without it. You don't have to bloom it if you don't want. I mean, you could do that too. I prefer to bloom my soaps. I think it's very important. Oh, got a little hair there. I believe that mostly any wet shaver that's out there doing videos right now, that's putting up shave of the days, majority of us bloom our soap. And again, we do it because we love the scent. Very nice shave. Fantastic. That really feels good. Very nice. And this stuff is, I mean, it's so slick. What's left on my face after the first pass, super, super slick. And that makes a huge, huge plus advantage when you're shaving your second and third passes and you have a nice slick soap, because, you know, it helps glide the blade across your face. Look at the splay on this Miami Nights knot. Look at this. This knot is absolutely superb. Recently, I've been asked to join the admin group at South Florida Wet Shavers on Facebook so that I can kind of help out and put in my 2 cents and add to the making the group better. So I'm very excited about that. And Anthony MacKenzie, who is AMAC Shaving Brushes and Knots, I just talked to him, and I know, I'm sorry, Anthony, but I told Anthony I wasn't going to use his brush to shave with until he had replenished his knots, because he was getting some new knots in. But I will tell you that I love his brush so much that when get in touch with Anthony MacKenzie, I'll put a link down below for him so that you can get in touch with him. And he has an amazing, amazing Miami Nights knot. 24 millimeters, the one I got. I believe he also has, or is going to be getting back in stock, 22 millimeters. And then he has, he's got quite a few knots. He's got this particular Surprise, which is a 24 millimeter bore. That's just fantastic. It's a fantastic brush. And he also has other ones over here that are synthetics. And so he can handle whatever you guys need. He's got very inexpensive handles, so he's very cost effective as far as if you want to get one of his knots, you can either put it into one of your brushes handles, or you can get one from him. Very nice. Remember, always stretch that skin. I see some of my friends on YouTube that and from Facebook that put up their videos. Some of these guys, I love you guys, but you got to pull your skin. You want to get a really good close shave and get that angle on the blade right. I see some guys, their angle is like really, really off. And if you're wondering why you're getting cut, that could be a reason. So later on today, we're going to meet up at Flanagan's again. I've got a honing session coming in Weston. So any of you guys from Weston, you know, we're trying to get together. Well, all of South Florida, mini meets, you know, in your area, trying to get together and do a honing session, or just maybe swap some soaps out and aftershaves to try out, you know, things like that. Talk wet shaving and have a beer. So it's a lot of fun. You guys in other groups, other than ours, the South Florida Wet Shavers, you should be doing that. You should be looking for guys in your area from your groups that live close by and meeting up with them once every week or 2 weeks or a month, so that you guys can like swap ideas and shaving technique and talk about honing and all those good things that we love to do. Very nice. I believe I'm going to put together a South Florida Wet Shavers first. I think this is going to be the first one ever. Wow, that is slick. Douglas makes an amazing soap. He really does. So about the soap really quick too. You know, this was made specifically for the South Florida Wet Shavers meetup, but people liked it so much that he has that on his site for everyone to buy. You guys need to go there and have this soap. This should be a soap that you keep in your den, because his stuff is not super expensive, but it's really high quality. So, in my opinion, you know, of course, everything I tell you is it's gonna be in my opinion, but you know, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody out there that says, oh, you know, I don't like that John, or I don't like this John, or you know, I tried that and it didn't agree with my skin, and you know, that's gonna happen, obviously, but you know, the 99% of you guys out there, you know, if you like cigar scents and you like mint, you know, things like that, I mean, you're gonna love this stuff. This is fantastic. Seriously good stuff. And again, I'm telling you this, you know why? Not because I'm a South Florida wet shaver, because I didn't join that group until 6 months ago, and this soap came out way before that. But I'll tell you that because it's a freaking good soap. Okay? I've shaved, this is like my, I think, over a dozen shaves with it already. That's how much I like it. You know, and I have a lot of soaps. I just went through my soaps. I actually have over 40 soaps that I haven't used in a video. So I'm going to start to be using all the soaps. This is the first one. that I didn't use in a video. I've done Shave of the Days, but never a video. So that's what I'm going to start doing in my series, is using all the soaps that I own that have not been in a video. Oh, I was sorry, I got lost. I went off on a tangent. As far as the meetups and stuff, you know, bring your stuff that you got. You got straight razors that you need to hone, and there's a guy there that's a hone meister that could teach you. Even if you don't have stones, bring it. You know, that's what we got to do for each other. We got to back each other up, guys. I'm going to be putting together the first, I believe it's the first ever, South Florida Wet Shavers contest, Shave of the Day contest. I'm going to start doing that this month, coming up in February, and all the details will be put onto the site as far as the rules and the prizes and all that good stuff. So we're going to start doing some really cool stuff. You guys from South Florida need to join that group, and if you're already part of the group and you're not really like participating, start participating. Join in the group, get the t-shirts, go to the meetups, do all the things that the whole reason we joined these groups to do. Not just to read up on what people are saying, but participate. Later on, I'll do a short video with the announcement of what the contest will be. When you have the right angle on your razor, and I mean, you know, I see a lot of guys, when you watch their shaves from their angles, they're like this, like almost parallel. I mean, I don't know how you guys are doing that without cutting your faces off, but your blade should be at like flat and then just a slight bit out, not, you know, like 28, 30 degrees. Because that's where the bevel set is for your edge. You know, you're not shaving off the hair from the actual, from the point. You know, it's not a point. You're shaving your hair off from the edge of the bevel, you know, from the edge, both sides of the bevel. So, at least that's how I get my closest shaves. And if you watch my videos, which you probably have been, you'll see the angle is almost like parallel to the skin. It's just like very like this and just a tiny bit out, if you could see that. So work on your technique, guys, to get a really nice close shave. Bloom your soaps, okay? Really, bloom them. And if you got a cream, dry bloom it. Fill your sink up with hot water. Get a bowl or something. Put your closed puck in the water and put that on top of it. Because all you're doing by blooming is heating up the aromatics in the essential oils to bring out the true scent of the soap or the cream, okay? Always shake, remember? And we're gonna, and it's funny because I don't know how Douglas managed to do it, but the aftershave is just fantastic I mean, I almost like to use the aftershave without the soap sometimes. I come home for lunch and I'll put on Miami Libre aftershave, even if I haven't shaved in a day or two, just because I love the scent. And again, by doing this, here's another thing. I'm sorry, guys. It's going to be a long video. Doing this really doesn't do shit. You need to put it on you. You need to let it like get in your skin and be part of your scent for you to know how it really reacts to you and what it smells like, you know? You really do. So I hope you guys got something from my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, I know you guys should hopefully be leaving a lot of messages down below with suggestions and your opinions, and they all count. I really do mean that. Today we used Anthony McKenzie's absolutely gorgeous brush that he made for me with Miami Nights 24mm 2-band silver tip. We used the Dovo's Best 6/8 round tip that is just beautiful razor. It's in the $100 range, so it's a very reasonable razor. I picked it up from Lynn Abrams. And the king of the show, of course, Miami Libre from Douglas Smythe at PAA. So thanks for watching my video, and guys, have a great shave.